is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
Today is Valentine's Day 2018, and we are here at Graveface Records in the Graveface Annex with Ryan Graveface and Chloe Graveface. I said it like that so dramatically because they recently just got married. That wasn't a secret, was it?
I mean, my entire life is a secret, so technically yes, but it's fine.
Well,
man, it's fine.
So if you have visited Savannah in the past or have any dreams about visiting Savannah, Savannah seems like a very mysterious, spooky place. But in all actuality, it's filled with a bunch of weird gift shops that are all the same, antique stores that are all the same and overpriced,
Way overpriced.
beaches, seafood, and a lot of people that say y'all.
Seafood that's imported, by the way. It's like rarely seafood that's from here.
But there are a few places that are unique, and this is one of them. So, what is this place for our viewers?
This is a record store called Graveface Records. But we also have that was a classic Savannah accident in the background, by the way. We have records that I don't release on my own labels. And
We should have one here.
he's gonna do something. I have two recording labels that I run out of here. One is called Graveface, obviously, that's more indie contemporary stuff, and then TerraVision, which is all soundtracks, mostly 80s, all horror or sci-fi. Then we have a space next door called the Annex. We do taxidermy classes and movie screenings and sell dumb, dead shit. And yeah, come on in. Come check it out. Here we have the Graveface Annex, next door to Graveface Records and Curiosities. There are far more interesting curiosities within this building. Follow me. So we have a zillion skulls. There's a bunch here, a bunch behind you, tons of taxidermy, lots of Oddfellows related things, serial killer paintings, lots of cult stuff, Jonestown and Heaven's Gate. But yeah, some of my favorite things, if you're interested, are... Favorite might be the wrong word to use, too, because it could be perceived to be offensive, especially with what I'm about to show you. But some of the things I find to be most interesting, I recently acquired this Vietnam trophy skull, which is very dark feeling, very heavy, but you can see where the bullet entered here. And the U.S. soldier wrote, "Why worry?" with a question mark and signed his name, and then brought it home, which just feels awful. This might be the greatest thing on earth. There was this clown in the 50s named Durwood Belmont Adams. This is his hat and nose from the 50s. He passed in 2007, so I have his hat and nose and his cremated remains in this box here, which, you know, probably isn't that interesting to a certain group of people, but I'm obsessed with clowns, so to think I have some of his trajectory, so to speak, delights me in a bizarre way. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the reflection, so let me pull this up. It's an old postcard album owned by Lizzie Borden, so you can see here, I don't know if you can get in, but...
From Lizzie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So this is 1912. And then this actually had, yeah, it actually looks brighter in your
Reading
screen.
through this, yeah.
So it's the old Lizzie Borden poem someone inscribed on there.
So here in this room, the annex to Graveface, do you have a couple things that you cannot believe you had? Or if somebody were to come in here today and buy them, you'd find yourself a little sad that they're gone?
I mean, for whatever reason, I'm a pretty obsessive Gacy collector, John Wayne Gacy collector. You know, and a lot of his paintings are easier to come by. Not even easy. I mean, you know, there's like 50 people on the planet that have some of these things, so it's not easy per se, but easier to come by. But yeah, I've got some stuff. I've got a crawl space key where he kept the bodies that I think might be one of a kind. You know what
Here?
I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually, it's right here. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but where I got it from, it's legit. Supposedly there were two known to be in existence, so I've got one. Again, you can find his paintings and certainly his letters and his books and his autograph, but it's getting deeper than that. I have a collection of 12 audio cassettes of him on death row that no one has ever heard before. It's nothing that's been, you know, digitized, that I'll be digitizing and probably turning into a podcast, but it's where he talks about who actually committed the murders, because at a certain point on death row, he, you know, claimed innocence entirely.
Some of the things that I love the most, that I am completely jealous of, and every time that I see him, I'm like, man, if only, is your wall of serial killer art.
Yeah.
And serial killers are probably, without sounding, I don't know, as twisted or more twisted,
Right.
Are probably some of my favorite, I don't really know what you call it.
Topics,
hobbies of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you say, it's going to be insensitive to a certain person.
Exactly. But this is impressive. Tell me a little bit about your collection here. I know you said you have quite a few of the John Wayne Gacy paintings that I see.
Yeah. A lot of people that are into this stuff collect as many serial killers as possible. As I kind of alluded to earlier, I'm not really entirely certain why Gacy has stuck with me my whole life. I think maybe just because he was a normal dude in my head. He was a small business owner, and I don't know, he seemed to live some portion of his life after his first jailing to be fairly oddly normal, and like he had all these urges and was good for some small period of time and then just lost it. There's just something fascinating about it.
As a Gacy collector, you've been out to Chicago. Have you visited where his house was? His vacant lot?
I can't believe we've never spoken of this. I'm from Chicago.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
that's
the last neighborhood that I lived in before I moved away in 2010 down to here was his old neighborhood, and I moved there because it was his old neighborhood, which is really fucked up, and I'm aware of that. Some Heaven's Gate stuff, which I recently just acquired and posted about on Instagram, and people really want it, and I I've gotten offers for like $500 for them, and I didn't pay $500, but I also feel bad selling VHS tapes for $500. So
wait, was Heaven's Gate the one with the comet or the Nike shoes?
yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
I remember being in school whenever that was all over the radio, not radio, but the TV.
Yeah.
So were these tapes that
Yes.
they actually used?
Yeah, like you were supposed to watch these to learn about them.
I can take you out of here. I can lead you into that kingdom level above human. That can't happen unless you leave the human world that you're in and come and follow me. Time is short. Last chance.
I'm Chloe. I do pretty much all of the art, most of the art for Graveface. I do designs for shirts. I do taxidermy. I do classes in the annex for taxidermy. That's actually what we're set up for right now. We're doing bunny mounts for Valentine's Day. Yeah, I started doing taxidermy. I just kind of taught myself over this past summer, so I've been doing it for a little over a half a year. It was one of the first bunnies that I mounted, and I put a witch hat on it and made a broomstick.
Do you name your animals?
I actually don't. Most people do. I've noticed that do taxidermy. They're like, "Oh, what do you name it?" I haven't named anything. Except, actually, I did name one. It was an experiment. It was the first time I was trying to tan a hide. It was a rabbit as well, and it was bigger, and I really messed it up, and it looks really weird, so I named it Judith the Ugly Bunny.
Jessica and I, we're big pin collectors. We actually have quite a few of your pins.
Nice.
And we bought this one today, as well as, I don't see it on here, Pennywise the Dancing
Okay.
Clown,
Yeah.
as well as your entire set of your Valentine's Day serial killer cards.
Awesome. Yes.
So, one thing that really strikes me the most about the stuff that you guys create, your shirts and your pins, you guys really make use of glow in the dark.
Yes. Everything glows in the dark.
Why glow in the dark?
It's pretty much all Ryan. He requests glow in the dark everything, and I do everything, not everything, but most of the things that I draw are naturally like black and white, so it lends itself really well to glow in the dark stuff.
Why, hello again. Inside the annex, we actually rent VHS tapes. Who still has a VCR, you ask? 23 people in Savannah. That's how many customers we have. We actually have VCRs for rent and for sale, so if we want to get that up to like 30, we can make that happen. But yeah, I've got probably, I don't know, about 1,000 tapes in here to rent currently, and then at my warehouse have another 12,000. It's all horror, sci-fi, or just fucking weird.
Bizarre stuff.
And then we'll be screening this in here on the 23rd of February, which is the same day that I'm putting out the vinyl soundtrack on my label TerraVision. It's a fun movie. It's ridiculous. And the soundtrack actually kicks fucking ass. So.
And it was filmed here in Savannah. Well, Savannah area. Let's say that.
Mostly Oatland, which is Savannah, I would call it. Yeah.
I feel like we should say Savannah area in lieu of certain facts.
Yeah. All right.
But
Savannah area.
Savannah area.
Yeah, nothing's ever fully Savannah.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a great soundtrack. I'll be putting that out. Listen to it. If you don't, that's fine too. But yeah, if you're in the Savannah area, living here, come by and rent stuff. It probably doesn't make sense to rent anything if you don't live here. If you're just touring through, returning them and all would be an issue.